All right, one group of liberal Rick's still up in the deer stand, freaking me out up there. One group of liberal teachers conspiring to hide their anti-Trump bias from parents. Our next guest says it's another example of the left breaking rules by pretending there is a crisis.
All right, meanwhile, a group of public school history teachers in the Boston suburb of Newton reportedly pledged to reject the call for objectivity in the classroom. They don't want objectivity. An article in the Federalist states that anti-Trump sentiment fueled that bias.
That's right. One teacher apparently wrote to his colleagues, quote, this: "I'm finding it really difficult in the current climate to teach kids to appreciate other perspectives. The other viewpoint might just be blatantly racist."
Wow. Michael Knowles is the host of The Michael Knowles Show, and he joins us now with his reaction. Good morning, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Good morning.
So here you have a school district saying we don't want objectivity when our children are learning in these classrooms because the pro-Trump view is racist.
You know, President Trump has this knack for making his opponents honest. He has the Democrats admitting that they're socialists. He has many teachers admitting that they're indoctrinating rather than educating. For totalitarians, they always go after education. For progressives, the future is certain, but the past is always changing. This is especially true in the teaching of history, and this is much bigger than one high school. For years and years now, the left has replaced standard history books with propaganda like Howard Zinn. As a result of this, according to one survey, a third of American millennials believe that George W. Bush killed more people than Joseph Stalin. The majority of them can't explain the purpose of the Bill of Rights. According to one survey, just 18% of American students are proficient in U.S. history. There was one teacher at Newton High School who said that objectivity is a weapon, a destructive weapon against social justice. This raises an obvious point. If truth is the enemy of social justice, maybe there's something wrong with social justice.
The greatest thing about our country is the differences of opinion, the ability for all of us to learn about those, and where you learn them is in school. So this is really alarming when you see something like this happening. Michael, how do we change this? Because we have you on all the time on the show, and you were so great talking about millennials and what we're facing today. How do we move forward, though? How do we learn from this? How do we better ourselves? How do we allow for more conversation and more opinions?
Well, education is the basis here. Education is the way toward upward mobility. If you teach a child lies knowingly, that is child abuse. You should be liable for that. If you're a teacher who does it, you should be fired. And this is basically a massive advertisement for homeschooling and school choice. We need more choices in the classroom because otherwise you're just going to breed ignorance, and in the vacuum of that ignorance, you're going to get ideology, not knowledge.
And Michael, in this case, we reached out to the school district in Newton. They have not given us a comment, but the Federalist had a quote from one of the history teachers. I think you alluded to this a moment ago. Here's the full quote. A teacher there said, "I'm concerned that the call for objectivity may just inadvertently become the most effective, destructive weapon against social justice." So what in the heck, what in the world is going on here when you have teachers saying we can't have objectivity, that we can't give kids more than one point of view?
This is a full-scale assault on truth. Beyond just Newton High School, when you look at the anti-Trump so-called March for Science, the lead organizer of the March for Science itself says that objectivity, that objective truth, universal truth, is really just a fiction of the white, male, cisgender hierarchy. This is an all-out assault on truth and communication, because if objective truths break down, if we can't allude to objective realities, then we're just going to be grunting and screaming and shrieking interest groups butting up against one another. We see that a lot on the left these days, but I'm hoping we don't see it for the whole country.
Yeah, that was a quote from a teacher. We reached out to the district. They didn't give us a comment, so we want to hear their side if they ever want to add to it.
I just can't imagine, Michael, what parents are thinking if their kids are at the school. What a difficult situation this must be. Michael, always good to have you with us. We always appreciate your perspective.
Good to see you.
All right, thanks for coming on.